Okay, let's start. So, really quickly, my name's Luke. My last name's very long. You've probably heard it already. If not, you can try to pronounce it. It's right here, or right here. Yep. That's it. Anyway, so for this, I didn't really want to make a video about like my origin story or where I came from because, you know, everybody already does that. So I want to talk about something that's really personal to me that not a lot of people seem to get. I have a hard time convincing people that what I do is interesting or compelling, and it doesn't really come up too much in conversation because, you know, nobody seems to want to talk about it. So that's why I'm going to use this video as an outlet to talk about this thing. Scroll. Okay, so I got a picture of my bookshelf right here, and you can sort of see what I'm talking about. Okay, so as you can see from this picture, you see that there's obviously a huge collection of VHS tapes right there. That's just the first row. There's so many more in the back, as you can probably see peeking out off to the side right there. At the bottom, there's some more tapes, a few collections in the center next to some old video games. And on the top shelf, on the very top, we got a bunch of laser discs, and we got some CADs stacked on top of that. The reason I bring this up and the reason I'm showing this to you is because I love them. I love old home video formats, whether it be like VHS or Laserdisc, like I mentioned, CED, which not too many people have heard of, VCD, which I have not collected, but I plan to, old film strips, pretty much anything, I have it, or I'm at least in the process of acquiring. Some people might find this kind of weird because most of these formats are obsolete now. Most people don't have a Laserdisc player anymore. Almost nobody had a CED player, so it's not like you can watch those. Some people just consider this stuff trash, and I consider it to be an important part of history. And even though the history of home video is pretty obscure compared to other areas of history, it's one that really caught my attention. I like to show people how we used to live in order to have them appreciate what we have now to a greater extent. Nowadays, we're spoiled rotten with our digital files and our Blu-ray discs and our DVDs. Why hasn't DVD died yet? Nobody even knows. And if it wasn't for those old formats like VHS, like Betamax, like Laserdisc, if it wasn't for the popularity of those, we wouldn't have the kinds of streaming services and digital downloads that we have today. We just wouldn't. Nobody would care. Nobody would make them. So I guess that is kind of why I preserve this collection, to sort of keep as a reminder of where we started from and even where we're going, because you can see if you stack up all these formats next to each other in chronological order, you can see how we progressed technologically. You know, we started off with film strips, then we moved on to magnetic tape, and then we got laser discs, which are just giant analog DVDs that are the size of frisbees, and then you got CEDs, which are vinyl records, which were out at the same time, we weren't as advanced, but they worked. Then you got digital video discs, Blu-ray discs, digital files, everything's digital. Yeah, I can understand why people don't share my fascination with collecting these things because they are obsolete. They cost a little bit much for something that's so old. Some formats cost more than others. The players cost an arm and a leg, depending on what you get. I think it's really cool. It's something that I can see myself collecting years down the line. Right now, I'm getting really interested in collecting film strips. I'm collecting 8mm and 16mm film strips, and I'll consider myself a serious collector once I get my hands on my first 35mm print. Now, what's this all building up to? I do have an end game in mind for all of this. I want to open up my own home video museum, which chronicles home video from its infancy, like starting back when everybody just went to see movies in theaters, all the way up to today, and with like display cases, like showing off different formats and in like the same movie across different types of formats, and just I had so many crazy ideas for that, and if I could do that someday, that'd be a dream come true because I think it's really cool, and I want to share this. I really want people to share the exact same feelings that I get when I collect this stuff because it's history, and I'm all about preserving the past. I think that if we don't preserve our past, we sort of lose part of ourselves in some way. I mean, this stuff was all we had at one point. I mean, it's the stuff we relied on, and now it's just tossed by the wayside, and that's kind of sad because why would you do that? It's important. It's part of history now. So someday down the line, I really hope to open that museum. I'll let you know if I do that. And that's my rant on obscure home video formats. I wish I had a shorter way of saying that. And what are you gonna do? I squeeze the gap, my clip